Hello everyone, my name is Dave Martsolf and I'd like to take this opportunity to let you get to know me a little bit better by making a video which is really based on my stump speech, which I've made a few times, but I have not memorized. So in order to show you who I am, where I came from, what my positions are, I'm going to read from this, and here we go. Greeting Windham voters. My name is Dave Martsolf and I'm a Democratic candidate for New Hampshire State Representative representing Windham. I've had over 33 years managerial experience in positions at Allegro Microsystems, such as process manager, planning manager, and quality manager. I know how to work with people and customers to get the job done. In this election, you, the people, will be my customers. I will work for you and deliver efficient, cost-effective solutions to the problems we all face. My DaveMartsolfNewHampshire.com website welcomes you with my essential promise: fiscal responsibility and social respect. We can all be ourselves individually, but in a society we must also be fiscally balanced as much as possible. So let's talk about fiscal responsibility first. The New Hampshire fiscal budget will be tight these next 2 years as federal stimulus from the COVID pandemic dries up. I do not support an income tax or sales tax to make ends meet, but I also do not see any possible cuts to the business tax, and I do not agree that we should end the interest and dividends tax. So where do the monies come from to support our schools, childcare, and other current programs? I propose 2 new revenue streams that will at least cover the ruinous effects of an inflation that was, in my view, caused by the federal stimulus necessary to save the nation during the COVID crisis. First, guns should be treated like cars. They both can be lethal weapons. Gun age limits, licensing, registration, training, and inspection can provide new revenue, both to the state and to the private sector responsible for the training required before a gun owner takes a state test, as well as to those businesses that will carry out periodic inspections for compliance to state-mandated rules of gun construction and gun safety. Second, the legalization and regulatory control, including taxation, of the commercial sale of marijuana products in the state should be implemented. Homegrown use, like home-brewed beer, can be free and legal, but when sold commercially, these products should be controlled and taxed using the sale of beer and wine and liquor in the state as the model. Now, some people could say marijuana could lead to harder drugs, but the problem with this is the reason why it could today is because to buy marijuana, it's illegal. So you often meet people you don't want to deal with who might lead your children to more dangerous drugs. If the marijuana product is legalized and sold on a commercial basis, that takes out the illegal middleman who could lead your people astray. So that's why legalization of marijuana could be a good thing, both for the state and to help prevent turning to harder drug use by our youth. To understand my social views, I need to tell you a bit about my background. I was born in Kansas to a fine arts professor dad and a professional photographer mom. We were both soon to be relocated to the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, where my dad joined his architectural father and soon became one himself. This region has to this day a large black population, but in the 1950s, segregation meant that our cultures were kept completely separate. I lived a life of white privilege, and I didn't even know it until years later in Boston, while attending MIT. In urban planning courses, I learned what it was like to live in a black neighborhood. It was very depressing to see what happens to human beings who have been left with minimal resources, whose families could not get bank loans for housing due to the infamous practice of redlining in urban neighborhoods of color. My educational pathway did lead away from architecture and into the fine arts at the University of New Hampshire, where I graduated with a BA 15 years later. I spent 13 of those years working nights at a large printing company as a journeyman bookbinder with the Graphic Arts International Union. When that company was shut down, I began work at what was to become Allegro Microsystems, quickly moving into management at this non-union company for 33 years. As a result, I understand both the union and non-union business models, each having validity depending on the position of the industry within its own business development cycle. It was in my capacity as quality manager that I came to truly understand and worked effectively with people from all cultures, races, religions, and genders. This company designs and manufactures products that find many applications in the automotive industry worldwide. With sales and marketing, I worked with Americans, Canadians, Mexicans, Danes, the French, Germans, Filipinos, the Chinese, the Japanese, and the South Koreans to solve problems. It is because of this lifelong education and my continued passion for learning and understanding, my ongoing fight to overcome fear of the unknown and darkness, that I stand as I do today on social issues. I am pro-choice and pro-public education, and I support voters' rights. I support clean air and water, renewables and the mitigation of climate change, gender rights, improved child care, affordable housing, orderly, valuable immigration, and increased border drug detection and enforcement. For more details on my positions on these and other issues, please visit my website, davemartsolfnh.com. And if you're so inclined, please donate to our common cause. And finally, of course, I would like very much appreciate your vote on November 5th. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon.